Noise reduction plugins. They can be fairly simple to use and reasonably priced, or they can be fairly expensive, offer you a lot of functionality and amazing features, but also require a bit of a steep learning curve. A while ago we did a video on the Waves NS-1 as it caters for the former. Fairly simple to use, you insert it on the track, you use one control to dial in the amount of noise removal on the source, and hey presto, there you go. But it's grown a little bit long in the tooth, and today we're going to look at something that's way more advanced and still extremely simple to use, and that's Accusonus's noise remover, which is currently on sale at the moment over at pluginboutique.com, link in the description below. So let's check out the plugin. So let's talk a little bit about what we're going to do. Here I've recorded myself speaking into a Zoom H6 stereo shotgun microphone, and I've set the gain on the microphone to maximum. So the signal to noise ratio isn't going to be too fantastic, and you're going to hear a little bit of noise baked in with the vocals. Now we're going to run the noise remover on this track, but also to take it one step further, I've duplicated this speech track, and I've also taken a layer of white noise and baked that into the audio as well. So that's going to provide an extra challenge for the noise remover and for when we compare it to Waves NS-1 noise remover. So first let me just play you a little bit of the tracks. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1 to compare with. How does it sound? Now let's take a listen to the track with the white noise on. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the So you get the idea, is quite a bit of a challenge for that second one. First, let's familiarise ourselves with the controls of noise remover. It's fairly straightforward. You have one giant knob in the middle here, which you can use to apply the amount of noise reduction. This goes all the way up to 100%. Down here, we have the focus tabs. And basically, this is a way to tell where noise remover to look at for removing unwanted hiss and, all the anomalies you don't want. So at the moment, this is currently set to look at the whole frequency spectrum of the audio recording. We can tell it to focus just on the high frequencies, just on the low frequencies, or the high-low frequencies and the mid-frequency focus. Over here we have a little button which you can enable, and this will help with tracks that have any AC hum on or buzz, help get rid of those anomalies on there. So great for guitars. And over to the right we have an A/B switch, so you can change between two different settings that you've created to compare quickly. You have obviously the output fader here, and at the top you have an internal bypass on and off switch if your DAW does not allow you to do so. Let's start by playing the first track, turning on the noise remover, and at the moment it's set at 0%, so it's not going to do anything, but what I'll do is play this speech and increase the amount of processing, and you guys can hear what it does. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1 to compare with. How does it sound? So let's do another run and just do a quick A/B between it being on and it being off. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1, so you can tell it does an absolutely fantastic job of removing noise while retaining the focus and clarity of the speech, which is something the NS-1 really does tend to struggle with. So let's now go to NS-1 to compare with. I'm going to open that up. And at the moment it's set to 0, so let's play through the track and increase the slider here and see how it fares. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1 to compare with. How does it sound? This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum. So you can tell even with Waves, it still struggles a little bit, and also it kind of muddies the sound. So if we were to set this to maximum and also noise remover to maximum and just switch between the two, you'll hear how noise remover does a far superior job at retaining the sound and removing noise, where Waves NS-1 seems to struggle. First, let's try it with Waves. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1 to compare with. So as you can tell, the Accusonus does a far better job of retaining the body and the high end of the recording while removing all of that hiss and rubbish that we don't need. Whereas with the NS-1 by Waves, it tends to struggle. I know this is an extreme example where they're both set to 100, but even at maximum processing on both plugins, the Accusonus sounds far superior, whereas the Waves starts to sound almost like it's distorting and that it becomes papery. So let's see how the Accusonus fares on this nasty channel with the white noise bedded in. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1 to compare with. How does it sound? This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover. Okay, so you can hear it actually does a pretty damn decent job considering that there's a lot of white noise in there. Now, if we tried this with the Waves, I'm pretty sure it's going to fall apart. So let's have a listen and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. We'll also use Waves NS-1 to compare with. How does it sound? So you can hear straight away, even with Waves set to maximum, it really struggles. So let's switch between the two. This is a test. The gain on this microphone has been set to maximum to increase the noise floor. We'll be using the Accusonus noise remover and remove some of the unwanted noise and hopefully retain the vocals. So that concludes our look at Accusonus's noise remover, a fantastic plugin, really simple to use, and it does an amazing job at removing noise while retaining the character and sound of the original source, especially on vocals. And what's real good about this plugin is that if you're a streamer or if you work in post-audio production, so for example if you're using OBS or Adobe Premiere, this plugin will work in both of those, which is fantastic. However, the one thing you need to bear in mind when using it is that you need to ensure that you're using a buffer of at least 512 on your audio card settings, just because sometimes it might run into some issues where it causes clicks or pops, so just up the buffer. Currently at pluginboutique.com, this is going for £46.96 as its own plugin, or you could get it from the ERA4 bundle which includes a noise remover, a reverb remover, a plosives remover, a declipper, a de-esser, and a vocal leveler. So that's 6 amazingly powerful plugins which are all equally simple to use. And these all work within programs like Adobe Premiere, OBS, and all the music software which supports VST plugins and even Pro Tools with AXX. Links are provided in the description below, so be sure to go and check the plugins out over at Plugin Boutique and bag yourself an absolute banger.